What's up, investors?
What's up, investors? It's Mike from MJF Invest. We're going live. It's a beautiful Sunday morning. Just going to wait for a few people to get in. If you're watching, please hit that like button. Let me just be clear. Can you hear me? Okay, good. Okay, I got a couple of topics I wanted to talk about. You can get a head start on. I'm going to give you some videos that I'm planning on doing. I'm starting my DD. I'm prepping to do the videos. But if you wanted to start your own DD on them, you could, this video, we're going to have an open dialogue about some of the companies I'm looking into, some of the stuff that I'm finding I'm interested in, and really, really cool stuff. I've really been paying a lot of attention to what's been going on in the space sector, in the space economy. So I've been looking into some of the companies surrounding that field. I do want to try to get into that early, although it's all speculative, so if you're a value investor, you may not, you may want to wait before trying to pick one of these stocks, because it is very early. All right, everybody in this in the video, please hit that like button. The first company I wanted to talk about was Astra. It's a SPAC. A really interesting opportunity. I feel like the space economy is estimated to be $1 trillion by 2040, which is really, really fascinating to me. Obviously, I would love to own SpaceX. That would be the company that I would want to own. Everybody wants to own, but it's a private company still. And based on what's available so far, I think that Astra is the most exciting one. So right now they're trading under ticker symbol HOL. I think it's a pretty good opportunity considering a couple fascinating things and highlights I wanted to touch on. Let me see here. Got some 5 people in here. All right, everybody hit that like button. Hey, Tariq, thanks for joining the live stream. I appreciate it. How you doing this morning? I'm talking about ticker symbol HOL. It's a space stock. We know that ARK Invest has dedicated an entire ETF. It's going to be ARKX. So this industry has been getting a lot of buzz lately. A lot of excitement, a lot of eyes. So I kind of want to get into this early. And I've been trying to look. I looked into Momentus quite a bit. I looked into CPASH a little bit. I really like ticker symbol GILT so far. I think it's a good buying opportunity. They were just trading at close to $20 a share just a week ago. A little bit of a disappointing earnings, and they're down about 18%. They're down under $15 right now. So I'm thinking that's a pretty good entry point for me. That's ticker symbol GILT. That is in ARK Invest's Israeli ETF. If anybody wanted to start, looking into it, starting their DD, to get a little bit of a head start. I am prepping for a video. I will be making a video on the company when I feel like I'm ready to. But I still am kind of getting into the company and the financials and the opportunity that it's presenting. So ticker symbol HOL. Right now it's a SPAC, right? The merger is going to go through in Q2 of this year. It's a really interesting one. Shareholders are going to get 14% of the deal, and Astra is going to get close to $500 million when the merger is closed. Really exciting opportunity. They're looking to scale out. They got a really interesting pipeline and a growing TAM. I mean, that's a really exciting opportunity for me. I was looking into Momentus. I feel like Astra is a better opportunity. Momentus is trading under ticker symbol SRAC. There's a whole bunch of these kind of like space companies. The reason I wanted to get into, I'm so attracted to the satellites so much, more so than like the tourist end. If I consider like Virgin Galactic, right? Ticker symbol SPCE. I would love to be an investor in that company. I really would. I think they could have a bright future, especially with some of the leadership. You look at Richard Branson, you look at Chamath Palihapitiya being involved, and the thing that scares me the most about that company is that they have like one, or it's three machines. They have like one set of each one. If something happened to those machines, that would cripple them, you know. So I never felt comfortable enough until they had a little more, you know, and they're still charging like $250,000 a seat, and they can do that right now because it's so limited, you know, because they don't have, you know, a few of these crafts. So I always stayed away from that one, although I wanted to be involved. I would love to be involved. I loved the idea, but I always felt like the risk attached was very high. So, you know, I passed on that, and I've been looking for another opportunity in space, a space company, and I think I might have found it with Astra, which is ticker symbol HOL, and again, very exciting opportunity. I talked about why I passed on PaySafe before, and the main reason I passed on PaySafe was because they were giving shareholders such a small percentage of the company after the transaction was complete, and I kind of shied away from that because of that. On the flip side of that, this deal, the shareholders are getting 14% post transaction, which I think is a good number. It's a real fair number, and it has me, you know, interested. It's piquing my interest. I'm definitely continuing to peel back some layers, and I'm trying to determine, you know, what kind of conviction. But as of right now, I mean, I'm getting ready to at least take a starter position. Everything pretty much is checking out. I'm going to make a video about it. You know, my complete DD pretty soon. But if you're on the live stream right now, if you wanted to get a head start and start your own DD on it, and maybe decide if you're going to be taking a position or if you're going to pass. But that probably will be my next video, will be Astra, which is ticker symbol HOL at the moment. So good morning, everybody. Please hit that like button. There's more people than likes. You know, that kind of stuff draws the video. I'd like to get some, you know, try to get some eyes in here. Really trying to grow the channel. I'm getting ready to monetize. So thank you very much to the audience, specifically the people that have kind of been here from the beginning and kind of they get in on every live stream. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Also follow me on Twitter. It's a little quicker for me to get an idea out there. Thank you, Tariq. I appreciate that. It's a little quicker for me to be able to get an idea out there on Twitter. So follow me at MJF. Shitty execution. Yeah, that's pretty good analysis. Yes, Dave B. I need some space stock too. And again, I want to start looking into more companies. But as of right now, like I said, the companies that I haven't taken a position quite yet, but I'm getting ready to take a starter position at least in ticker symbol HOL, which is Astra. The ticker is going to change to ASTR, star, which I like that ticker. Another really piqued my interest about the company was the board of directors. The company's CEO's name is Chris Kemp. He's from NASA. Strong leadership. The CFO is Kellyanne Brennan. She was with Amazon. So strong leadership is something I always talk about. You know, I picked up this book yesterday at the local bookstore, used book called Good to Great, and it's by Jim Collins, and it's really interesting book. And he's trying to pinpoint like the inflection points of how companies went from good to great. He studied the companies over like a 15-year period, so there's no like flukes or there's no like one instance. You know, just studied you know what exactly got these companies from good to great in the examples, and obviously leadership was obviously the number one thing. He called it level 5 leaders, and he was pretty strict in his criteria of what a level 5 leader was. The name of the book is Good to Great by Jim Collins. I'm just reading it now. I didn't read the whole thing. I'm only a few chapters in, but the first thing that he talked about in the book was level 5 leadership, and it's really fascinating what he considered what a level 5 leader was. It wasn't always this like charismatic type CEO. Like there have been some pretty bland CEOs, some instances that people thought that they were weak even with how quiet and reserved they were. But again, I didn't read the entire book yet, but that one theory so far has been pretty good, and called it level 5 leadership. So, again, going back to Astra's board of directors, really, really strong. Chris Kemp, definitely that fits that criteria. I don't know. I don't know if it's level 5. I'd have to have a little more experience and discuss, but he's definitely a good leader. Yes, absolutely. Prioritizing management, because especially when you're gonna invest in these growth companies, right? We're investing on the possibilities, right? Like you can't really justify a lot of these valuations in its current state, right? So a lot of these investments are projections, right? Like we're hoping that Opendoor gets 4% market share when they go to scale, right? Like they don't have it. We're hoping that they get it. And if they don't get it, we're in big trouble, So you have to look at the leadership. Do you feel good? Yeah, Eric Wu is a great leader. Chamath is a great leader. I feel that they're going to get more than 4% market share. So, that's the projection. And if you're not feeling good about who's steering the ship, I mean, I don't know, what else you could be looking at, right? Because again, a lot of it is projections and forecasts. So you have to trust, that this leadership is going to get the job done, that they're going to pivot when necessary, that they're going to make the right decisions, right? So best investment education you get is from Mike said. Look him up. All right. No spamming in here. I want to get out of here with that. Everybody, please smash that like button. We're talking about, space stocks. If you got any space stocks that you're looking at, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear it. Again, as of right now, I would feel comfortable to say that of what's available, ticker symbol HOL looks like my favorite one so far, the one that I'm probably going to place my money in. But I'm still up. I still have to look through some of the other competition. And again, it's still a new industry. I'd like to take a look at ARKX and see what companies that they're selecting. There's a lot of interesting ones. Especially for national security purposes. Especially the last administration had started the Space Force, so there's definitely a lot of focus in that economy, and it could be a big opportunity, right? And with that being said, this is all projections too, so there's going to be a lot of losers too. So, being rigid in your research and in your process is important, and trying not to be so far-fetched, trying to find moats. Like, where do the companies have the advantage? That's kind of what we got to find before I'm making an investment. I got to ask myself that, right? Like, is the leadership strong, and where are their moats? Like, where do they have their advantages? How are they going to separate themselves from the pack, especially with such an emerging market? So really fascinating stuff. And also, I don't really, this is all new to me. I don't know how to analyze this space company, right? Do I analyze it? I'm analyzing them like growth, like any growth stock, really, right? But again, like, we don't really have a lot of financial information. SPAC NPA, is that a space stock? I thought NPA was something else. But again, nothing wrong with that. Always looking for opportunities across any industry. I really like the fact that the space sector can disrupt so much. It's a space sector, but it is going to disrupt, transportation, cargo, cargo transportation. It's going to disrupt a lot of different areas. And with that, I wonder too, how much companies like, Pure Storage are going to benefit from that, right? Because these kind of things are going to require absurd amounts of data, and really good technology. And I would imagine, I don't know this to be 100% true. This is total speculation, and based on how ARK has Pure Storage across ARKQ, ARKK, and ARKG, their genomics fund as well. So they have a technology company in the genomics fund, because genomics companies are going to benefit a lot from it. I think these space companies are also going to benefit from Pure. So I would be interested to see if Pure Storage, ticker symbol PSTG, which is a favorite on my channel. I talk about it quite a bit. I have a playlist. I'd love everybody to check that playlist out and check that opportunity out. I think it's a great opportunity that Pure Storage presents. It's a picks and shovels play, across many sectors and many industries. And really, like, the advancement of computing it depends on data storage, right? Like, so if not Pure Storage, some kind of data storage company is going to really, explode and blow up. That's just my guess. Also, the government subsidies that the space companies can collect. Absolutely, yes. And the government contracts are really going to be what pushes these space companies, particularly in the beginning, the first couple of years, right? Because who are their customers going to be? It's mainly going to be governments for the most part. At least that's the way, I'm assuming. Why would you SPACs personally? Heard some warnings regarding it. Not touch any SPACs personally. Okay, all right. Well, you don't like SPACs. A lot of people don't like SPACs. There is risk associated with SPACs, but you also have to consider it could be a great opportunity to get in great companies early, right? I was getting a little too much involved in SPACs a little earlier, a few months ago, almost in a way like I was exclusively trading options when it came to SPACs. But I asked myself, I said, why? You're getting a little bit greedy with this approach. This has been a friendly market, and I didn't want to pick up too many bad habits that I know are not sustainable, right? Like, it doesn't normally work this way. Perfection is just the direction. That's right. That's right. So I started to try to scale back, and now I'm just looking for specific criteria before I invest in a SPAC. Hey, Guy, how you doing? Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining the live stream. Please don't forget to hit that like button. There's more people than likes, so smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. We talk about volatile stocks. We heavily focus on the research. I'm not the type of guy that's going to sit there and tell you when to buy, and just focus on price predictions and that kind of thing. I'd really like to show that, this can be managed. Risk can be managed with information, trading off catalysts and trading like within a system, your own system, not mine, but focusing on the research, absolutely. Thank you. Absolutely focusing on the research and letting the information really make the choices for us. We want the odds always in our favor heavily, right? Like, I don't necessarily, I know that there is luck involved, but I'm only looking for trades that I feel like the odds are heavily in my favor. And the only way to do that is with information. They say that stock pickers aren't, it doesn't last. I hope that our generation and this type of investor, this whole group of us proves that theory wrong. That this is a stock pickers generation, and that we can outperform the market over a 5-year period, over a 10-year period. And you can only do that if you're paying attention, if you're really focusing on research. So, that's the kind of channel this is. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe for future content. And again, now I'm really focused on space right now, the space economy. When I read that, it's estimated to be a $1 trillion market in just a few years, 10, 15 years. I mean, it takes markets a long time to become that valuable, and that's a big opportunity. So you pick a company today, if you're right, think about have you done any ND? Yes, I have done DD on SOS and TSMP. And again, I would have liked to have gotten involved at SOS with a low average cost, $3, $4, $5. If I would have got it a week ago, I probably would have bought in. But just look at how the stock acts. It's so volatile. I seen it go from 10 to 13, back down to 9, back to 14, back to 9. And if you don't have diamond hands, or you don't really have reasons not to sell, I could see that costing people a lot of money. So unless you really understand SOS, how it works, and you have reasons not to sell, I would not advise starting a position. I wouldn't suggest that. Starlink, hey, Amplify, thank you for joining the live stream. everybody please hit that like button. Thank you for joining. Yes, Starlink would be obviously the one as well, but with what's available, so far I found HOL. That's my favorite one. Obviously, Starlink, SpaceX, or anything that Elon Musk is doing would be the favorite in that, in the space sector. But as of now, I we can't own those. So what I found so far has been HOL. Archer looks good too. It does. But that's air mobility, urban air mobility, right? Which I guess is space, but I was more looking along the lines of like satellites, rockets, a company looking to get to scale like that. Dropbox, huh? Yeah, you know what? I know you were talking about, I've seen your videos about Dropbox, and I've also seen some other YouTubers starting to mention Dropbox. I don't know that I understand the company fully. I probably, maybe I should start to pay attention to it. You want it to be your number one position, huh? Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. It's like SpaceX with small rockets, exactly. Smaller rockets, right? I don't know about small rockets. What I really like about them so far is that they're kind of positioned. SpaceX obviously would be the one, right? That I want. But in a market so big, there's going to be more than one winner, right? Yes, an SRAC is momentous, but I passed on momentous. I was looking at it, I was interested in it, and I had it on my watch list. I've actually made even content about it. I think there's opportunity there, but I like this opportunity a little bit better. Yes, HOL is a SPAC. The deal is going to close in Q2 of this year. Astra will receive some $489 million after the transaction. Leadership looks good. Pipeline looks good. Obviously, it's a nice picks and shovels play for all the various things that are going to happen in this industry. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. No, there's definite concerns. I said I didn't make an investment in HOL yet. Basically, the gist of the content is, so far of the companies that I found in the space sector, HOL is the one that I like most. I'm hoping that I could get some more on my radar and start to look into those, start to look into competition. I haven't made any commitments or any investments yet. This is very rough. I would like to get a look at ARKX, the ARK Invest ETF, and see what companies that they're investing in this sector. But for me, as of right now, I really like ticker symbol HOL, and I like GILT as well, especially even as a reversal play. They just had a disappointing earnings last week. It went down like 18% or 20%. So it's right around $15 now. And I've been eyeing that company up, trying to figure it out and see where the opportunity was. I may play the reversal if I get one. And that's right. Yes. Yeah. Pure Storage pullback. I was low. I hammered Pure Storage all week. I really did. I love that opportunity. And the more I read about that company and the more I look into it, the more bullish I become. They just had a really interesting partnership. They elaborated and extended their partnership with Comprise during the week. It was kind of flew under the radar. Nobody really mentioned it, but that's a big deal. And they're setting themselves up, really nicely, really exciting. That's my top position now. It's my number one position that I own. It is about 19% or a little just shy of 19% of my portfolio. I'm wildly bullish about Pure Storage. I have a playlist on my channel. If you're not familiar, check it out. It consists of about 5 videos. Yes, yeah. I'm gonna do more too because I've been reading and trying to understand the products a little better. Particularly Ari. That's the product that Pure Storage makes with NVIDIA. It's part of their flash stack. It's a robotics and AI play. Genomics. It's big time stuff. Almost to the point where I've been hearing this a little bit. It's kind of advanced even for business. I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties. Can everybody hear me? Is the stream messing up? All right, everybody, please hit that like button. There's a lot more people than likes, so smash that like button, especially if you just got here. We're talking about, stocks. Let's talk stocks. I'm talking about space stocks. I just talked about Pure Storage a little bit. Somebody brought it up in the comments. Thank you. So Pure Storage is another one too. Again, if you guys just got here, I have 5 videos on a playlist. That's my top position. It became my number 1 position during the week. I really hammered it on this last pullback. If overall market conditions pull it back a little more, I'm not concerned. I know what I hold. I did my DD. I'm excited about that. If I can get an opportunity where this falls down to $24, then I'm going to capitalize on it. That's the kind of investment I think this is. This is always, I was clear, this has always been a long-term investment. A lot of my plays and a lot of my position in this is in call options for January of 2023. Over the last couple of months, I found them to be very fairly priced and cheap for a lot of the time. So I've been loading up on Pure Storage call options with $35 and $40 strike prices for January of 2023. The implied volatility is starting to go up a little bit, so the price is going up, but they're still fairly priced, especially considering what I think this company is going to be worth, where I think the valuation is headed, especially in the subscription-based model. They're swapping out to subscription-based service, storage as a service. It's the future. And they have the best products. Number 1, the top NPS, which is a Net Promoter Score, available. TSNO. No, hey guy, I am not familiar with that ticker, TSNO. I will put it down on my list, and I'll certainly look into it. And DNMR, paper-handed. Now, Amplify. Now, I know we've chatted a little bit. DNMR. I'm not familiar with that stock. Do you own that stock? Like, I would look into it if you told me to look into it for sure. TSNP on the pullback. Yeah, no question. Another company too that I think is that really interesting as a growth stock and presents a great opportunity is Tattooed Chef. The more that I look into that, I have a position. I always viewed it as like a longer swing trade. Like I wanted to capitalize on the run up. But the more I look into that company and the partnerships and the way it's building and expanding, I really think that that's a great opportunity for a growth stock, like a fairly safe growth stock, if you will, if there is such a thing. The TAM is, the total addressable market is growing, and its partnerships, and it's moving to scale. So I think that's a really interesting opportunity, maybe even underrated a little bit. DNMR is good. I would look into it. Jonah Lupton. Jonah Lupton is one of the social capital. I think he one of the guys who won one of the spots in the social capital competition, I think. Yeah, Jonah's good. I think Jonah is pretty good. I got a lot of respect for him. I follow him on Twitter, and anybody who won when Chamath picked it. I mean, obviously, I got respect for it. Yes, very. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that exactly. That I think that Tattooed Chef is undervalued at its current prices. Yes, and especially when you look at its price to sales and its competitors' price to sales. And you just ask yourself, there's a lot of room to run. A lot. Another company I was looking at, or I should say, another area that I was really focusing on and looking at lately has been ARK Invest's Israeli fund. Israel's got something really interesting going on in that part of the world. I was reading just recently that per capita they have like the most startups in the world, and pretty remarkable considering the resources. They don't have that kind of those kind of resources, or you would think, for that many startups and that many tech companies to be coming from there. And I'm assuming that's why ARK is focused over there because there's big opportunities coming over there. I kind of feel like maybe I overlooked that ETF. That ETF has been available. That information has been available for quite some time, and I never really spent enough time or focus. But lately, I've been skimming through it and working through, that ETF, and one company kind of fits the mold for both. That they're out of Israel, which I've had a lot of success with some of these companies like Nano, right, and Nano X Imaging and Nano Dimensions. I believe both are out of Israel, and also, yes, GILT. I was just going to say, we're talking about space stocks, and I'm talking about the Israeli ARK Fund. GILT sits in both. Again, they just had a disappointing earnings just during the week. They went down about 18%. So they're sitting at $15 a share right now, under 15. So, this could be a good reversal play if you're looking for a swing trade, or I'm not suggesting that, this could certainly keep going down. But one, it could be viewed as a reversal play, which to me is a good time to enter. But I'm looking at it for a long-term opportunity. And that's the opportunity in space, the space sector. I also anticipate that this may be part of ARK Invest ARKX ETF. Yeah, CRNT also had a disappointing earnings. That was 2 weeks ago with their earnings. I played the earnings. I don't know that I understand that company to its entirety. Their investor presentation focuses a lot on 4G and 5G, and I feel like a lot of that has already happened. I would more or less be looking for 5G, 6G plays, but that's just the kind of investor I am. I want to be there first. I don't like to be there late, and if I'm there late, then I feel like the real value. I'm not nothing against CRNT. It's probably has potential, 4x potential, 5x potential, maybe over a period of time. But I feel like I could find that kind of potential in something that I maybe understand or know a little better. Yes. No, I understand that. I understand that it is. Institutions added positions in Gilt, so they agree. Yeah, well, like I said, that's one of the cornerstones of ARK's Israeli fund, which is I don't know, I forget the ticker off the top of my head, but it is an ARK's Israeli fund, and I expect that it'll be an ARKX. Which company, Amplify? Which company are you talking about? DNMR. Okay. Yes, and institutions have been buying GILT. Again, just throwing it out there if anybody just got on the live stream. I am looking at, I'm not committed to, but I'm looking to get into positions in ticker symbol HOL and GILT. Those could be my next videos if you wanted to get a head start. I'm currently prepping for those videos. If you wanted to get a head start peeling some layers back and make a decision whether it's a company for you or not. If you wanted to get on that early, I think it's 11%, no company, the industry. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah. That it's not currently priced in. Yeah. Well, I guess it will start to be from some of these earnings. That's why I was kind of hoping that CRNT, that's why I paid attention to that earnings. I thought that earnings call would have been the indicator, would have been the point. And again, I could be wrong, but it was enough for me just to, I just know I could find that kind of value in something that I understand a little better. I don't understand, 5G infrastructure, at the most fundamental or basic level. I just don't understand it. So I can't necessarily identify that kind of opportunity. So the earnings per share, indicated to me that there was no influx. So, I moved on. Now, again, what do I know? You know what I mean? I'm new to space stocks as well and 5G infrastructure. So there may be a ton of value there. Yes. GSAT is sitting there. The thing that concerns me is it's $2 a share, but look at their market cap. That's a pretty big market cap. They have a huge float for a penny stock. I think that's what you like when I'm picking penny stocks or micro cap stocks. I'm looking at the market cap more than the price per share. And with a company like that, they have like 1 billion shares out there. It's a $2 billion market cap, I think, with 1 billion shares in circulation. I'm looking for something a little, not to say that you probably make a lot of money with that company, but I'm looking for something. When I'm looking for penny stocks or micro caps, I'm looking at the market cap. I'm looking for 200 to 500 million dollar market caps. Anything over that, I start to not consider it a penny stock, even if it's trading at $1 a share. I know that might not make sense to some people, but that's the way I look at it. I'm looking at the market cap. So I don't look at I never viewed GSAT as like a stock that might just fly like that because the float is so high. It takes a lot for that to get moving. But with that being said, I do own call options for December 17th because I do think it will be. I had them with a $2 strike. Definitely, market cap will certainly grow. But I'm saying though, when I'm looking for like penny stocks that are going to fly, because somebody had said, you just said, the market cap will definitely grow. We were saying that was $2 a share, but that $2 a share would indicate maybe that it's tiny, but it has like a $2 billion market cap. So it's maybe a little bigger than the price per share would let on. Large float is one of the issues, but it'll go quick. That's exactly what I was trying to say. E-Man, only U.S. manufacturer and OLED displays, which is used in VR and AR. Okay, all right. I would like to know more about that. I'm looking at, and I'm trying to understand AR and VR a little better. I'm trying to really like piece together the opportunity and figure out, who has moats, but it's kind of difficult to understand. And with AR and VR, I know that like Facebook and Google are in that space. So I'm a little bit weary, unless I'm looking for a company maybe that Facebook or Google may buy, so do they have that kind of potential? Do you think EMAN and CLSI? Here, let me write some of that down. See, that's exactly what I want. And what industries? Somebody is mentioning right now ticker symbol NSAV and ticker symbol CLIS. I'm not familiar with either ticker or the sector or industry, at all. So I would like to know maybe a little bit more about it. That would be great. It makes the parts for rockets. Oh wait, what do you? Oh, the parts for AR. Okay, I got you. Oh, that's excellent. I like that. That was like there was another company that I was looking at not too long ago that made the parts for they had patents and technology for the PlayStation controllers, and it was Immersion, ticker symbol IMMR. I was taking a look at that one for a while, and I thought that had a pretty interesting opportunity as well. Yes, IMMR. That's exactly right. KPON is another one. Thank you. Amplify. You should follow me on Twitter at MJF_invest. We could chat about, you tell me some of the stuff, that maybe, speed the learning curve up a little bit for me on some of this stuff, because those are the kind of things that I am interested in. I'm looking for stuff like that right now. But I get a lot thrown at me, and I do my best to get through most of it. But sometimes, there's always a time restraint, Yeah. So everybody's still in this stream. Please smash that like button. I'm probably gonna go another 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or anything else you guys want to discuss. I'm definitely gonna take a look at some of these. IMMR is certainly a company. I probably could do a video about that one. I've been studying that one quite a bit. I have some knowledge about it. I may actually be ready to do a video on IMMR. KOPN, I'm going to look into, as well as EMAN. I like those. I like the way they sound, at a glance. And TSNP since last year, I'm so not in crypto platform, NSAV. Well, let me just write these down real quick. NSAV, CLIS. IS. What else? TSNP. I did look into TSNP. Now my problem again with these crypto plays is, I feel like I'm late to them. The crypto plays that I made my Mara play 3 months ago when it was $5 a share. I own call options that with a $5 and a $10 strike for 2023. So I missed companies like SOS, but I hit on my crypto plays. So, and then again, I own Bitcoin. I own Ethereum, small amounts, but I own them. So TSNP, NSAV. Okay, great. And EMAN. I like that one too. Amplify, thank you for that one. Also been considering, I'm going to start laying out my Patreon. It's trying to build a group together where, we can, want to learn how to, what criteria, what websites, the whole process, my picks, my day-to-day picks, my week-to-week picks, that kind of thing. So keep an eye on that. Former head of Mossad is the CEO. Wait, Mossad, really? Is that true? I mean, I don't know about investing in a company that the CEO was the head of Mossad. Is that? I don't know if that's. I don't know what kind of information is that accurate. Other companies too. I wanted to look into. And I'm wrapping up. A couple of weeks ago, I talked about ticker symbol INPX in Piction. I'm still in that trade. It was up over $2.25. I did take some profits, but I held some of that. I held most of that position. I'm going to hold long. I see a lot of value in that indoor intelligence, especially the workplace readiness. I could really see them having a big hand in getting us back to live sporting events, getting us back to concerts. The artists don't really, I don't know if anybody's been to a concert the last couple of years or a stand-up comedian type show. They always want you, they got the boxes, they want you to put your phone in, they do this, they do that, so you don't record. In Piction's technology, you install it, it actually takes that feature away from the phones. That would allow each arena to not have to go through the hassle of that. And then the artist still could protect their work and their intellectual property. So that alone, I think, has big value for ticker symbol INPX. And then the short driver would be getting people back to the office, which is their workplace readiness, contact tracing, indoor mapping, the whole thing. The package is great. You should go back and check that video out if you're not familiar with ticker symbol INPX. I'm holding on to that one. I'm also still holding on to ticker symbol ASRT. I don't know if you've gotten that trade with me. I'm holding on to those shares. We're still in FRSX. We're still in ZOM. For the most part, I took some profits, small profits early on and throughout the weeks, but I have most of my position again with ZOM. We got in at 20 cents, and the whole time I've been promoting and saying, Trueforma comes to market in April. That's when we'll start to see some of the value. But more recently, I've been talking about 3 of the other essays that they have in the pipeline. There could be a lot of value here with ticker symbol ZOM, and I just wasn't ready to sell until I know what kind of product. So I know exactly what's going on with that company. Same with. My target for ASRT, same thing with FRSX. As far as ASRT goes, my target, I'm in no rush to hold those. I grabbed those at like 62 cents a share. My target was about $3 a share. And that's kind of what I'm holding for. I love drone stocks. I wish I wish that I wish a couple of months ago, I really wish I invested in ticker symbol UAVS. I had made a video about it. I had never actually just put my own money into it. It was a stock that I had talked about. I put it on my watch list, and I just watched it go up to like $13. It has recently come back down to $8. So I guess if I wanted to get in, this would be the opportunity. But it was much more attractive at $1 than it is at $8. So, but that's really the only one that I know. I always talk about Workhorse, and I always viewed Workhorse a little differently than most content creators. A lot of people just were focused on the USPS contract in the short driver for Workhorse. If you go back and watch the way I covered Workhorse, I've said in every video, I think I've made 3 videos about Workhorse, was that the Dragonfly is the business when they can lower the last mile delivery package to less than 25% cents per mile. That's disruption, right? That's big time disruption. And that's where I think the value is for them. So I love drone stocks. I'm really looking for, I'm looking for all kind of technology stocks, any kind of innovative stock that could be disruptive. I'll at least take a look at. And if I could identify, 10x potential, you give me the odds in my favor with 10x potential, I'll take those trades all day. BCRX, I've made a couple videos about BCRX in the past. A fellow YouTuber named Monster Stock Picks, he covers that stock. He covers it way better than I ever could. So, I kind of shy away from that one. Him and I have, similar audiences. So I don't cover stocks that he covers. For the most part, he does a great job covering it. So, but I have mentioned BCRX. I got in it and I bought some call options a few months back when it was like $2 a share, $3 a share. I have content, but then I stopped covering it after. When somebody's covering it that well, there's no point for me to do it. Same thing with Nano Dimensions. If you notice, I was covering Nano Dimensions for a while. Mentioned them at like $1.90, $2.60. Then I made a video going through an investor presentation. But then Richard Allen started covering them, and he covers them so well. That I couldn't. There's no reason for me to cover them after that. Like after that information is now there, and he covers it perfectly. So, I kind of moved on to something else. I want to look into TAKOF. I don't really talk about OTC stocks. I've never talked about an OTC stock on my channel. They're just a little bit too speculative for me, Yeah, Monster Stock Picks Group. Nice. Welcome. Okay. Okay, glad. I was going to say I don't even know what they were. They look like OTC. I'm going to stick around for a couple more minutes. So if you guys got any more questions, please drop them in the comments. If you got any more tickers you'd like me to look into, drop them in the comments. Again, I'm going to be really focusing on the space sector. I really want to get to the bottom of this. Archer is on my radar. I'm looking into it. Blade, a couple of the other urban air mobility stocks are on my radar. If I had to pick one of the urban air mobility stocks, my favorite one would be Blade. Ticker symbol EXPC. And if I had to pick my favorite, rocket company right now or space company right now, it would be Astra. Ticker symbol HOL. But again, I'm not firm in those stances, and I haven't invested my money. If somebody has something better and can help me see it, I'm definitely open to that. Uranium is in space too, which is great. Which I think is a lot of the reason to these people, to fight climate change. You're going to want to control space between uranium and other elements that the Earth just isn't rich in. Elements that the Earth is scarce in. A lot could be found in asteroids. So they're really trying to get up there and figure all that stuff out. And bless them. It sounds like a sci-fi movie to me. Thank you very much, Trick Us Care. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. If you're still watching, please smash that like button. That's right, HOL. and again, I'm not firm in those stances. I'm still looking and trying to learn the industry. That's why I haven't really made much content during the week, because I've been reading and studying and trying to just grasp this whole space economy, and look into it, and that's the other thing too. To be able to come on camera and have something to say. Sometimes you gotta sometimes I gotta load up on material. Definitely buy uranium stocks. I agree. And lithium. That's the reason too. Talking about these rare earth elements is a few months back, way back. One of the first videos I ever made was about MP Materials and the opportunity that they presented with neodymium. Neodymium is an element found in the ground that's needed in magnets, and magnets are needed for electric vehicle engines. It's really that simple. 90% or 80% of our rare earths come from China. Every time we get into conflict with China, they threaten to cut off the supply. This pandemic had really shown that we needed to become more independent, particularly in rare earth minerals, right? Like in every way, in food. That's why I liked. That's why I love Aqua Bounty. That's why I liked App Harvest so much. We need to be more independent. We need to be able to make our own food, right? Yeah, MP. Well, now again, you got to remember, MP was a company that I got into 6 months ago. At $15 or $14 a share. So it's up around almost $50 a share now. So you got to know that there's a lot of downside on something like that. But I love MP Materials. Yes, I love MP Materials. But again, you got to remember though, you're talking to a guy who has a $15 average cost or under $15 average cost. But the thing with MP Materials, again, the play is neodymium. If you go through their investor presentation in their stages, their stage 3 is specifically focused to mining and processing neodymium to make magnets. That's their goal. That's their end game. So the rare earths are nice and it's good, but their end game is particularly to be to really get into magnets and be the number one supplier of neodymium, which is used in all sorts of stuff, but particularly magnets for electric vehicles. But on top of that, wind turbines, the military. We were just talking about drones. It has an assortment and a myriad of use cases. Neodymium is a very valuable element, very underrated element, and an element that we need here in North America. So MP fills that void. And then you're also talking about uranium. And there's lithium is another one that a lot of people like. I really like WWR as well, Westwater Resources, although I don't own the stock. I don't own it in my portfolio. I've done a little bit of DD about it, and I do like it at the right price or under the right circumstances. I would definitely buy that stock. Again, but it's a little bit high right now, a little bit overextended right now, at least in my opinion, to start a position. So I haven't started a position in WWR just yet. Another thing too is we don't always have to get so fancy, right? We're talking about uranium, neodymium, and all these rare earth elements. There's simple stuff, emerging markets, like something basic and simple, like sports betting. Right now, sports betting is legal in I don't know how many states. Whatever, right? X amount of states, 10 states, 12 states, whatever. There's 50 states, right? So do the math on that. So there's a lot of room in simple stuff too. Like I know we're always looking for the next big thing, the next big technology, but sometimes it's just as simple as that. Looking around at things of that nature. And that's an industry I really like. Another industry I really like too, and I've really been trying to focus on as well is I lost my train of thought. Thank you for saying that. Hey guy, I really appreciate that. Sports betting is at 10x in 3 to 4 years. Yeah, DraftKings, all of them, right? Penn, Barstool, a lot of this stuff, LCA, there's a lot of room to grow. And again, all you have to do is basic math to say it's legal in, whatever amount of states. I don't know the exact number. I think it's like in between 10 and 12, but there's 50 states. It's eventually going to be federally legalized. Eventually, so for a long-term investment, again, we don't have to be so flashy or so fancy. It's saying, uranium, neodymium, X molecules, this, that, technology, this. We could go simple, just that simple, sports betting. So, and I do like all the innovation too. I love it. If you've been watching any of my work, any of my content, I love it. I'm entrenched and I bleed, innovation. I cram it into my skull all day long. But also too, you don't want to be so. There's a great acronym, KISS, KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. So that you can apply that. Also to my investing, you know what I mean? Like, slow down a little bit. Yes, and I know another one too was skills was another big one. I know that a couple of people were big on skills for the sports betting as well. All right, guys, I'm going to get ready to wrap it up. If you're still watching, thank you so much. Go back, watch some of the old content. Really go back and watch that Pure Storage content. I really am proud of that work. I think this is a great opportunity. But again, this is just my opinion. It's a company I believe in. But what do I know? I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a regular guy. But again, man, my message is that through the research, this is for everyone. This is not, again, I used to think this was for magic. I thought this was magic. I thought people that did this stuff, I thought it was magic. I thought they were magicians. And now that I understand what this is and that it can be done just with effort, I just wanted to get the message out there. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Everybody, please like and subscribe. Send a friend over. Share the content. Spread the word. We're doing good work over here. Very small losses with some really big runners. Spread the word. Follow me on Twitter at MJF_invest. And keep a lookout. Content coming this week. Have a great weekend. Take care, everybody.